Welcome to Net Support Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bet 2020.
Listeners, with new topic guidelines coming into force at the end of this year, there is never a better time to talk about sex education and relationships. And I am lucky to have live with me in the studio Lucy Marcovitch. Did I get that right?
You did.
Excellent. You're so kind. PSHE consultant and series editor, no less, I have to say, for Discovery Education, who listeners will know they're no stranger to our radio show and produce some most superb resources as well. Lucy, welcome to the show. Thank you so much indeed for joining us. What are the challenges for practitioners?
Well, the challenges really are for primary teachers who don't feel necessarily confident or trained or just able to know what they need to teach in relationships education, the kind of vocabulary they need to use, the way they might answer tricky questions that the children might ask.
Sure.
So it's really about building their confidence.
And has that vocabulary changed since we were last trained?
It hasn't changed it as such. It's more that teachers have an awareness really of what the vocabulary they should be using should be to help safeguard children, to help children talk about their own bodies, keep their own bodies safe, understand their own bodies and understand relationships. And so it's more that the vocabulary has moved on, it's got broader, it's got more specific perhaps, and teachers just need a bit of help in knowing what they need to be talking about.
Good. And I noticed just yesterday schools in Wales will now make this a compulsory subject.
Absolutely.
And that's a major step forward,
it really
because
is.
For whatever reason, and there are lots of reasons we know, parents feel confident and competent to be able to take their kids out of this, and that is an essential. They're missing an essential element of our social upbringing, our interactive skills, the whole way we move, we develop as a human being.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, parents will not be allowed to withdraw their children from relationships education per se, but they will have the right to withdraw children from any elements of sex education.
Okay, wasn't aware of that.
So,
okay. And have we distinguished the two? Is there a clear?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely clear that for example, within the Discovery Education resource, we do have a lesson in Year 6 about reproduction. Sure. And that's a non-statutory part of the guidelines.
Okay.
But anything which is part of the relationships and health education DFE guidelines is statutory, and parents won't have the right to withdraw their children from that. And I think you're absolutely right. It's really essential that children understand how to manage healthy relationships, how to get on with people, how to communicate, what different families look like, etc., etc. And it is an essential part of growing up, absolutely.
And that landscape has changed. There is no doubt about that.
Absolutely, yeah. And with all the pressures that online brings, children needing to learn to keep themselves safe online, understand how to communicate online. For them, the online world is as real as the offline world, and they need to know how to cope within that world as well.
And I wonder whether that's still one of the challenges for educators, is that difference between how we grew up and how young folks are growing up, with the spotlight of social media shining so penetratingly on their world. It's almost unbearable for some people.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, all the pressure that it brings in relation to body image, in relation to identity, in relation to perceptions of other people, etc., etc. It's a whole other level of stuff that which we just didn't have growing up, and we can't fully appreciate, really.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm completely on the page on that, and that's why I've focused on radio, because you can get very vulnerable young folks, and we can develop their confidence in the studio here without the knowledge of them being seen, because it's just their voice they're engaging with. So I'm absolutely on the page of that. Just share a flavour of the resources. What can folks expect to find in the Discovery Education portfolio on this topic? What have you got?
So I think the really fantastic thing about this resource is that it covers the whole of the health education and relationships education guidelines that the DFE have put out, which will be statutory from September 2020. So if schools buy into it, they have everything, really.
Brilliant.
They've got the whole guidelines covered. It looks at 6 broad topics, and the topics look at things like families, building relationships, caring and responsibility, about how we grow as human beings, and it within each one of those topics there are lessons for every single year group. There's a progressive curriculum, so that if you start this curriculum in year 1 in a particular topic, you progress right through to year 6, where you're building on your learning, you're building on your understanding. Brilliant. You're focusing on similar things but at an age-appropriate level. And the resource also offers some really fantastic videos, in my opinion. They really are great because they're child-led. We have 2 really fantastic child presenters. Nice. And we also have animation at Key Stage 1, and it's really about these children delivering the curriculum to the children that they're teaching.
Love it, absolutely love it. I've long since said that young folks should be the carrier of the message. I think that things just get hit home so much more favourably when it's a young person saying it. Absolutely stunning, really good. Can I just draw you on that topic there? How much of a topic leader responsible in school do I need to be to deliver this? Have you aimed this at non-specialists for this topic?
We have, and there's a lot of guidance around the topics as well. So, for example, there's guidance on how to deliver the work safely, how to make sure that you've got a respectful environment within the classroom to deliver what can be quite sensitive topics. We've got guidance around answering tricky questions and how you deal with tricky questions. So you can be a specialist in this and you can kind of roll it out within your school. Good. Or you could be an NQT, for example, coming to this cold and all the information that you need to deliver it is there.
I think we can definitely agree it's a difficult topic for lots of colleagues, and for the non-specialist who's not practiced in delivering this topic, it could be quite a daunting task. I'm delighted to hear that as well. Where can folks find out more about the topic if they're not already aware of it?
So if they look at discoveryeducation.co.uk/PSHE, they can get more information about the resource, but they can also sign up to get more information. And the resource is being rolled out now, so they can sign up for the first topics to deliver in schools as soon as they want to.
Nice, ahead of the statutory guidelines.
Absolutely.
I like that. There will be some colleagues that will enjoy that. Chatting live there with the fabulous Lucy Marcovitch. Thank you so much indeed. Editor-in-Chief. Absolutely love that title. I'm so getting myself one of those. PSHE Consultant for Discovery Education. Lucy, thanks so much for joining us.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Net Support, the driving force behind school IT solutions.